Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Roast. I am, of course, Sugar Chris. And with
And
me,
I'm Michael Oden,
Michael
or Ogden. I have an identity crisis. It's all good.
Why do people call you Ogden?
It's because of Mo Biggs, wholeheartedly because of Mo Biggs, because he wrote he typoed in a chat once and then it just stuck. It's funny because I've been getting spam mail for Michael Ogden for years. Like I would like everyone in my family will get like an occasional spam mail where they'll goof up our last name and put Ogden. So it's nothing new, but it's certainly taken on.
Let's see who's in the chat.
But yeah.
Oh, we got McGee.
We got some people in the chat.
Hey, McGee. Everybody go check out The Good Night. Oh, we got Oliver from 656. How you doing, Oliver?
I see your co-host is not here again. So again, feeding into the kayfabe between Sim and I.
Yeah, and and he's always giving me shit. He's always saying, "Oh, you need to start it at 11:15 like it used to be. Start at 11:15. He's not here."
And we were in the back room for a few minutes.
Goes further into it. He just has a problem with Oden.
That's how it goes. It's because I'm such an ardent hater of the Snyder universe. This is what it ultimately comes down to, right? Is like I think that Snyder is trash, and he's one of those misguided people that thinks Snyder is a saint. So, even though he's a hack, I'm all down with the universal changes that are happening. I know that people have been giving Gunn stuff for the low performance of the last few films, but nobody cares because that universe is dead. And so nobody's going to go see a universe that is dead, that was ruined. But anyways, that's not what we're here about. So
maybe you could make a cool history of something involving the French Canadians. Maybe that'll win him over. You do a cool French Canadian.
That's a tall order, man. Like the French Canadians specifically, that's a tall freaking. You're asking me to move mountains here.
Maybe just make something involving the Mounties.
I mean, Frontier Tales are great, but like, the French Canadians specifically are like one of the most unpopular groups in the world.
It's true.
The French hate them.
Yeah.
The actual French despise French Canadians, namely because of their pronunciation in French. It's way more nasally in like Quebec and everything like that, like than it is in Paris.
I figure the French look at French Canadians like they're hillbillies or something. Like you're backwards.
That's not inaccurate, but that's kind of how, especially when you look at like the Parisians, that's kind of how they look at everyone, is that everybody's just a hillbilly. Paris has been
the magnificent culture of Paris.
Soul Ion, pro Snyderverse people are at the end of their wits anyway. Technically, there is just Aqua Douche 2 left, and then it's done. Pardon the pun. Dead in the water. And like that's the whole thing. Aquaman 2 will probably do well because of China. The China was where 60% of the box office was made in the first movie. Because they love them some kaiju. So long as Aquaman 2 brings more sea monsters, it'll do well. It'll do very well in China because, we're getting a sequel to Meg because of the China market. Like, nobody asked for a sequel to Meg. We're getting Meg 2.
Yeah, I read those books, and I never watched the movie.
Yeah, like the movie looks, the first movie looked terrible, but we're getting a sequel to it because the Chinese saw a giant shark and it went, oh yeah, we love us sea monsters. We love kaiju. We love stuff like that. Soul Ion, no, Amber Heard does not count as a sea monster, and she's not even in the movie. Like, I think if she is still in it at all, it's for less than 5 minutes. So But
he kicked her out.
I do see that Darkseid is in the chat, which is cool. I like Darkseid. He's good peeps.
Yeah, well, Marinus.
Yeah, and Pale Rider as well.
I don't know about him. We got Jay Ryan, morning. Oh, yeah, Marinus and Soul was playing the Evil Dead game yesterday. They were playing with Scottish folks. Oh, you're playing with Spartan Scotsmen. I see. Oh, Soul said, welcome to the roast, where I'll not be able to say negative things about the French language for a whole show, because that's how good history boy Oden's Judex is.
I appreciate it. I'm very proud of how this book has turned out. For real though, like it is the past year or so I've really started, I think, I'd like to think anyway, I've really started to kind of up the production game of my books in terms of like their artistic quality and everything like that. Like, when I first started, I had some pretty strict limiters in terms of budget and everything like that. And so the art, I don't think, was able to match where the story was. And then that started to kind of shift with the Embrace. And then I unlocked my superpower of finding ridiculously good talent, in the online, and being able to get them on for projects like that has become my superpower. 100%.
Very important skill to have in this line of work.
Yes. Le Marseillaise is a serial killer manual. I agree with you, Pedro Ang. It is the most violent national anthem ever. Like, if you were to look at the translation of the lyrics, like you could just insert Nathan Explosion brutal memes like for every verse.
Let me bring it up so the campaign for folks to see it here. No trailer.
We are working on it. We are going to have a trailer very soon. We were hoping to get it done before the campaign launch, obviously, but there were some things that weren't quite ready yet that should be that I believe either are ready or should be ready this week. So we should be able to have the trailer in the next week or so, which will be great.
You're disappointing Soul. He always says pitch trailer, and I can't do the trailer for him, but we can do the pitch. What's it about, Oden?
So Judex is a rework of a public domain character that first started as a silent film in 1916. And we have taken this character and we have brought him, elevated him from a small scale Edmond Dantes style character to a defender of Parisian culture during the Nazi occupation of France. And this version of Judex is tapped into the cultural heartbeat of Paris and asks his people the question, do you hear it too, I wonder? And what he is referring to is the slowing pulse of their city. It's being trampled on by these jackboot thugs, and their culture is being repressed, and the Parisian people aren't doing anything in the eyes of Judex. And so he is going out there to listen and render verdict upon the action or inaction of his people and stir the fire of revolution in the heart of Paris once again.
Now, I'm curious, how much are you going to deviate from like real history in terms of like events and people?
So obviously I'm not going to have anything that like grand, like obviously, really screws with history all that much. Like we have, Neff and I have worked out like a small scale storyline where Judex is going to be, his, I guess the best way to put it's his antagonist, and the nature between him is very similar between, if you've ever seen or read the Scarlet Pimpernel, it'd be like the dynamic between Chauvelin and the Scarlet Pimpernel, where, He's the antagonist. He's searching for Judex, but they have very limited time together. And it will, like, everything will kind of be, gearing towards them kind of having their meet. We have this Nazi relic hunter named Ritter von Woten, who is there in Paris looking for a specific relic that may or may not be in Judex's Court of Miracles, which is this mystical hub of in the underground of Paris, filled with all these Parisian artifacts with cultural significance to the city.
Cool. You're going and doing the whole underground too, involving that as well. Cool.
Yeah. So it's one of these, like, these two people are on a collision course. So we have that smaller scale story, but then on top of that, we're treating each one of these stories as its own singular adventure vignette, just like you would in a pulp, where there's a resolution by the end, and either the person being judged is rendered innocent, is given a chance to join his little revolution, or they meet an end by way of the widow, Le Veuve, which is his pistol, and it is forged from the blade of the first guillotine that executed Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, Robespierre, all of them.
Oh, that's interesting. So you've already said he's got a Court of Wonders, and of course his gun.
The Court of Miracles.
Oh,
which is a playoff of. Now this is an actual real place, and they actually believe that it was in one of the arrondissements. They have it figured out. I can't remember which part it's in, but for a very long time, it was believed to be this kind of hiding place for all the unwanted people in Paris, like the gypsies, the Jews, where all these people would kind of hide out and be protected from the prosecution of the church, the law, et cetera, because history, like, France has had a very big history of religious and ethnic persecution. But I thought it would be like a nice thing to, like, kind of play with and have it be Judex's cultural epicenter. Additionally, the original Judex character was trained in the arts of hypnosis and everything like that by a gypsy traveling caravan of a circus. So it was a nice way to kind of pay homage to that as well.
Mm-hmm. Will there be other like mystical artifacts that we'll see from the court?
Yes. When you scroll down on the campaign page and you see some of the traditional like the page art, you actually get to see some of the things displayed in the court. So like in one shadow case, you have the sword of D'Artagnan. In another, you have the letters of Cyrano de Bergerac. You have the music box from Phantom of the Opera. You have the Iron Mask. And even in that first image that you have with Judex holding up the orb, or palantir, or however you want to say it, the chandelier that's hanging above him is the chandelier from the Paris Opera House that the Phantom cuts down at the end of the first act of the play. And Sim joins us.
Good morning.
Fashionably late.
The kayfabe ends.
I just saw the link. I don't know why they don't even give you a notification saying, "Hey, you got a new message."
Dude, Twitter has been acting super wonky lately.
Then
so
you
I don't
click
even
on messages, and then you see there's a whole bunch of new ones.
It's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Is that what that is?
Apparently.
I mean, it still says home Twitter when you open the link. Like,
yeah, like it's got a little X in the corner now.
No,
is that Elon's doing?
Yeah,
he's just trying to rebrand it.
I don't know. I mean, I still see the bird, and it still says Twitter.com.
Yeah,
he said so, he was putting up something where he's like, if we can find a suitable X logo, then we'll do it tonight or something. And now there's an X in the corner at the home page and a black X and all this stuff.
Where? I don't see that black X. Maybe on the phone. I'll check on my phone there.
Yeah, it shows up for me on the computer here, up above like the little home button.
Nope, not here.
Let's see.
Yeah, like if you go up there, like when you click on it, right above home, it's just a giant X sign, but like on the actual page, like the actual tab, it'll still say home/Twitter.
Let's see. Oh, there's Mr. Break. He says, "LL Oden was just chatting with me. I wasn't where he was live." Yeah, he's not.
Yes,
he's not taking this. He's like,
I was setting up a show with Dave for Thursday for his Drink with Brink. Thursday is going to be an interesting. So like tomorrow, I fly to Kentucky for my work, and we're there doing a demo. And our second day of events got completely just nixed. So I'm just going to be sitting in Kentucky for like that entire day doing nothing. And then the following day we have like one demo in the morning, and then I'm flying out back here.
But your work is always causing trouble for you.
No, this is a new job, and this new job is actually fantastic. I genuinely enjoy it. I can't talk about it too much, but like I do really cool work. I have much better hours than I did before, and I get some travel, which has been fun and refreshing, and is a great way for me to get out of the house and actually have some semblance of a life, even if it is, just flying around.
Well, at least you're getting to see new places and such.
Yeah. I got to go to Hawaii, not last week, but the week before.
Nice. Wow. Let's see. Soul says, I enjoy listening to Oden so much that I don't even care that there is no trailer. That's not an issue today.
I appreciate it. So I got your comment on the SPQR campaign. I'm so glad you got your books.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed them. And the people who got all the box tiers, that stuff is going out hopefully by the end of the week. I'm going to be having a message. I'm going to be having a chat with Critical Blast here some point after the stream today to get all that situated. Hi, puppy. Hey, sweet girl. What you doing?
Let's see.
What are doing? My sister's dog has wandered into my room looking for affection.
Well, as long as it's not your girlfriend.
No, I don't have one of those. There's no time.
Too busy going to Hawaii.
I work a full-time job. I have my comic business. I'm a single dad, and I have I really only have extra time for like reading or writing, because it doesn't. The commute is pretty basic. I can do that wherever, but like I live about like the closest places to me are like 20, 30 minutes away. So it's like, yeah, there's no real dating scene for me.
Yeah. There isn't really one here either. What is he talking about? I'm still trying to wrap my head around Chris's best friend posing his girl online so he can get fixed. What are you? Oh my gosh, Pale Rat. You've completely butchered my stories. What are you talking about? And then
that's his job.
I never even finished telling those stories anyway. What are you going? Let's see. Peter says so. He's kicking.
Yes, he is. That is actively the point. And in fact, like this first character that he's that he is evaluating is this guy who is a police officer in the Vichy regime. And so the question is why has he done what he's done? And is he worthy of the bullet, or can he serve a higher purpose for his city? And that's going to be up to Judex to decide, because that is his job. He is the judge. That's what Judex means in Latin.
I gotta get that right. I always call it Vicky. All right, switching to Roku.
You call it Vicky?
Yeah.
It's CH, dude.
I've never heard it pronounced.
It's Vichy. It's a Vichy France. Vicky France. Oh God.
Technically, it's
Vichy. Are you that guy that at a restaurant and when you're at a French restaurant, you're trying to call for the waiter, you scream "Garkin"? Is that you?
I've never been to a French restaurant.
Technically it's supposed to be Vichy, but yeah, you are supposed to pronounce that ch.
Yeah, like I'm just imagining Sugar Chris is like at the restaurant, just tapping his glass, going "Garkin, Garkin," and everyone just glaring at him.
Everything I learn through reading. I've never heard stuff pronounced, so I just go with it.
Shut up! You're just trying to find excuses.
Man.
You watch movies. You play video games. You hear them.
Podcasts.
I've never heard anyone.
Now that you don't pay attention, that's another thing.
I've never heard the word "bitchy." I've only read it.
Well, you know what? I'll show you another example. Va chier. Is that okay?
Gosh. And what are you doing switching the room, you tail rider? You're supposed to be here.
Vicky France, Chris, really? Vicky France.
Yeah.
This is amazing. We need Sim, we need to clip Vicky France and just make that viral.
When I was little, I called grenadiers grenadiers.
That I can actually
That's not that bad. It's actually pronouncing in French. That's not bad.
Yeah, like that is actually a proper pronunciation. Like that makes more sense to me than Vicky.
Because you actually saying it in French.
English,
yeah.
Even in English, that CH followed by the Y wouldn't make the hard K sound. It would make the sh.
English is grenadier, in French grenadier. So you're technically saying it probably in French.
Yeah.
So it says the Back to Future perk because I also like Terror in Trenches. Crossover between two is just too irresistible.
And Vaughn crushed that script, and we have his art team from Terror in the Trenches doing that book too.
Let me scroll up. I've seen it. There it is. There.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, it looks good. Fancy.
We're gonna have the Black Terror and Judex fighting a sexy vampire coven, reawakened by a German warlock. You're welcome, people.
That is cool looking. Look at that.
Yeah.
That fits nice. Oh,
if I could have afforded the widow. Oh.
That is cool. And those are on the campaign here?
Yep. You can get all those.
Wow. Look at that.
So the Hand of Justice is the pistol. Face of Justice is the mask. And then 2 of 3 of these have already been claimed, but you can do the full Judex, which comes with a custom-tailored cape, as well as the mask and the gun, and the Fraternité tier, which has all the variants, the Terror in the Trenches crossover, and stretch goal items, the Grishaïala glow-in-the-dark print, and the Le Marianne coin.
Dang on. And people have already been grabbing them up.
Yep. We've got, as I said, 2 out of 3 of them have been claimed.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Let's see. What's everybody
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's X now. Yeah, over on Twitter. X gonna give it to you.
I don't know. I don't have it. I press on it. I don't see it. There's no X here.
Gonna give it to you.
Maybe the entire thing that Trudeau's doing when the internet is slowing it down.
Soul can't lurk in Twitter now because it requires logging in. Hey, we got Glenn. Hey, Glenn.
What up, Glenn?
Your morning's going well.
I was just hanging out with Glenn yesterday, and he was trolling me. I was on Sunday Funnies with them, and Glenn found out that I'm a huge Roman history buff and just kept going, what has the Roman Empire ever given to us? And I was just like, don't. We're not doing this.
Yeah,
and he just goes, it's important to have a sense of humor. It's like, I understand that. And for most things, yeah, I'd be there with you. But Rome is my thing. Like Rome and Alexander the Great. Like that's my jam. I'm also big on like French Revolution and Napoleon, but like, yeah.
Roads, sanitation. Well, other than that, what has it ever done for us?
I don't know.
What has it done for
creating
us
a
lately?
republic.
You know, what has it done for us lately? That's what he meant.
Give us hope, Sim. Hope that
Lately.
the Empire may return one day. Live in our hearts, Sim. That's what it does. It lives in our hearts.
Go away, Rome.
Why?
The art and times of Jay Ryan is about to pick a fight.
Oden is a male gigolo now? Whoa.
I don't think so.
No, soon we're gonna find out that Rome is still very well and going. We just haven't been paying attention.
Hail, BA.
I don't know about that. Like they had some pretty hard collapses. People have tried to tag on from the legitimacy of use heir of the Roman Empire as a tagline for legitimacy. Like that's what the Holy Roman Empire is.
Yeah.
It was effectively,
West Virginia. That's right. Mountain Mama, baby.
No, I'm in normal Virginia.
Yeah, you're in the inferior Virginia. Gotcha.
No, not the inferior Virginia.
At least separated from you bunch for a reason.
Yeah, how's that going for you? How's the education system over there?
Good enough.
Good
Apparently
enough.
not.
Good enough to call Vici Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares about the French? Them America.
Yeah, who cares about the French? You can't even master English proper. You get outdone by a French Canadian.
Good
I don't
stuff.
know.
Let's see. Yeah.
All right, so let's see.
Quiche Lorraine still sucks though. That's just lame cooking and not the country's fault.
That's fair, I guess.
That's such a German, observation. You do not do it like us.
This is the thing. This is the thing that I was like, Alexander the Meta, the Art and Times of Jay Ryan is like, he's looking to start a fight. I'm actually reading a book on Alexander and Philip right now. It's very good stuff.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan,
Alexander the Soso. Alexander Soso, got it.
No, not even remotely. It's funny because when I was finishing my undergrad, I was in this Greek history class, and one of the final discussion questions was, does Alexander really deserve the title the Great? And I literally wrote a 6-page discussion post on listen, greatness doesn't equate to goodness. Regardless of what you may view about the morality of Alexander's conquests or actions, the greatness is defined as achieving above the ordinary, right? And to try and disrepute any of the achievements that he does, on the list that is as long as your freaking arm, and try and say that none of those things were extraordinary feats, you're just fooling yourself. He created geography to win a siege of an island. When Tyr was proving too much to handle for a naval blockade, he built a landmass that lasted until the 20th century, and you can still see it underwater. That alone, not even going into the other impressive things that he did. No. Oof. The Art and Times of Jay Ryan is saying people forget Hitler gave away a lot of free train rides. Not many people talking about that. I think that the problem is the destination at the end of the train rides, Jay Ryan.
Didn't Alexander the Great sleep with Jared Leto?
Yeah, in the movie. Granted, Alexander definitely, Hephaestion was definitely more than just his friend. They were definitely male lovers, which is not uncommon in the Macedonian royalty, at least as primary sources are to be believed. Philip II had multiple wives and male and female consorts, but sexuality was viewed in a very different fashion than it is today back in antiquities.
Yeah, especially if you're rich and you own that
It's
person.
all power
It's
dynamics.
not seen the same.
Well, it's like
If you go to certain places, so some of them have like, you know, they're not gay, they're married, but they have fun with, you know, younger guys.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, you know, Philip II is killed by one of his bodyguard, who was one of his favorites, if you catch my meaning.
Mm-hmm.
That guy had gotten raped by one of Philip's generals that was not somebody that he could get rid of. So Philip didn't do anything about it. And so the official reason for the assassination was his bodyguard had felt slighted for not being, you know, avenged for the slight by Philip. So like you know, it's one of these things. It's like you're talking about a different time.
It used to happen, but not just different time. It still happens now. Ask P. Diddy and you know, ask Puff Daddy and what's his name?
Which one?
Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones and Puff Daddy. Ask them. It's still going on. Will Smith knows.
Yeah.
Will Smith, Usher, they all know. Including Justin Bieber.
Come on. Yeah, the inferior Virginia. Yeah.
No, not the inferior Virginia. Not even remotely. Like it. You guys had one good moment in history, and since then you have faded into obscurity.
Winning, being winners.
Yeah, you seceded. You broke off from Virginia to be a part of the Union, and you won. And by proxy are the winning side of the Civil War. That is the greatest achievement your state has ever accomplished. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one more great accomplishment than Virginia.
Not even remotely. Virginia has way more feats under its belt, but we're not going to go there right now because we're talking about a book.
Yeah, I'm just here dodging members.
Sim, what do you mean with such a German thing? I'm sure the occupation of France in World War II wasn't because of quiche, as much as I loathe leek.
I'm just talking about how you guys could criticize food, how people eat their food. Like if people don't eat crepes with cream and this and that, it's heresy.
If you don't eat crepes and you with like Nutella and freshly made whipped cream, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, so see, that's my point.
Yeah,
I like it with maple syrup and cheese.
That's fair.
I actually like to put my pancakes, flip that, like you put cheese, flip them in two, you cook them like that, and then you put maple syrup. It's freaking insane. And if you put a little bit of red pepper on it, you know, paprika or something, it's freaking. Mwah. But you know, I'm pretty sure over there he's going like, we should burn it on the stake.
So in terms of the Alexander movie, Dave, when you get a battle sequence, you get something special. Alexander, one of its biggest wins is how authentic it portrays the history, especially on the battlefield. The drama and the actual plot and the performances are horrible. It is a bad movie in that respect. The music is good though. The score, it has a very solid score. But like the only reason to watch Alexander are like the scenes for like the Battle of Gaugamela and the battle I want to say at the Hydaspes is the one that they do in India. Like it. And that's the other big thing is he has a 3-hour runtime to tell the story of Alexander the Great, which frankly is not enough time and does not do justice to all of the things he did. Like he ends up skipping over like Battle of Gaugamela is a big deal, but like, and you obviously need to show that. But the fact that they don't have the Battle of the Granicus River or the Battle of Issus which are, some also some iconic moments of his. And in fact, the Battle of Issus is the one that has been immortalized by the mosaic of Alexander charging Darius while he's on chariot back, and Alexander's obviously on a horse with the spear. Like that mosaic is depicting the Battle of Issus. So like the fact that you don't have even a mention of Issus there, there's a lot that gets hampered by trying to make that life into a movie, and trying to have it be a singular, like a narrative that stretches from him as a child through his death. It's just, even though it's only 30, he dies like at his 33rd birthday. Even for that short period of a time, he accomplishes way too much in that for you to just relegate it to one movie. It should have been a miniseries, and each season should have been one of his campaigns. It should have been, you have the first season is him as a child through him becoming Basileus of Macedon and having to reign in the Greek city-states after they rebelled because Philip died. And the end of it should have been him starting to go to Persia. You could have done season 2 and 3 could have been his Persian conquest. And the end of season 3, he's going up to Bactria. You could have done season 4, and then season 4 could have been the Bactria campaign, Susa weddings, and then him going down into India. And like obviously finally coming back to Babylon and dying. Like that could have been like the mega last season, each season being around 10 to 20 episodes. And it would have been way better, and you would have been able to flesh the character out more, showcase a nuanced characterization of Alexander that kind of shows him grappling with the different types of personality that he has to put on to rule. For my undergrad senior thesis, I wrote about his adoption of Eastern customs, which is treated by primary sources as a sign of his megalomania and everything, as a political tool that he learned from Philip II, of using the culture of the conquered to blur the lines between conqueror and conquered, and try and bring them close together. And it backfires, and it loses him the army that won him everything. Their relationship will never be mended. It's never the same. He tries to repair it with the Susa weddings, but by that point, it was done. It's one of the things that, as much as I am a stan for Alexander, if he had lived past 33, I don't think he would have been able to expand the empire anymore, because the army that won him that empire would not have fought for him. He would have had to completely conscript a new army filled with mercenaries from the places he conquered, and they wouldn't have been near as effective. But anyways, to Judex, Sim, have you taken a look at this campaign yet?
Quickly, yes.
What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions?
No, really.
Okay.
That I haven't asked yet. That I haven't asked yet. No.
All right.
Yeah. I looked at it, and it reminded me of I had like the shadow, the vibe to it. I thought of the Phantom. Gave me that vibe of the classical type of thing. I just was wondering where the hell the mask came from. If there was a story behind that mask.
Yeah, there is actually. So when I looked at the original design for Judex, there was something missing. Like, he has the slouch cap and he's got the cloak, and he very much feels like that shadow style character, but he doesn't have anything on his face. And I needed something to blend both to make the design work, because otherwise I don't think that it would have worked. We needed something, and so I decided
So
to
it is
give him
a public domain
yeah
character.
no it's a rework of the French silent film character from 1916.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was just wondering why. That's why I'm like, why the mask? What's with the mask?
Yeah, so what we did was I gave him I wanted to give him this like carnival style masquerade mask.
Mm-hmm.
And what I ended up doing is when I was designing it, I wanted to work in the facade of the scales of justice, which is why he's got like those things under his eyes. They're meant to represent the weights. The chains obviously represent the chains that are holding the weights up, but they also come down as an X across his face to kind of also, form the scale.
This is also how you used to bind things that you wanted to cast out. Like you wanted to, lock something in that was mystical or something within something. You locked it with an X and a skull on it. It was like a charm thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was wondering what it was. Somebody's
somebody's
locked in there, like the man with the Iron Mask thing behind it.
Yeah, and the mask has the mask has the ability to I call it the visage of justice, and like it has the ability to peer into the soul of whoever is looking at it, and it's how he conducts his trial. He effectively does somewhat of a penance stare kind of deal, and it gives us the pertinent information for the person's past to inform us upon where they are. And so that's one of the things that you will see in this book is when he's looking at Javert, when he's evaluating his decisions, this is what he's looking at. It's a way for him to be presented with evidence so that he can preside over this as if it were a case.
So Ryan's saying Sim is just making sure he doesn't have a blue arm. I'm sorry. If you have a blue, especially a blue teal arm, I'm sorry. I will call you out on it. I'm sorry. If you cannot pick up on it, it's like, dude, I'm a huge fan of freaking Trigun. And when I saw that new anime where it's blue teal metal now his arm, I'm like, you bitches.
It's like you stole my screw you.
It's like there's a limit to like something similar. Oh, it's cybernetic arm. Who gives a fuck? It's like, imagine if I come up with a character and he has the exact same cross with this chain thing and something very similar under his eyes. You'd go like, hey guy, what's going on there?
It's like, yo man,
what's going on there?
You need to talk?
That guy looks familiar. What's up?
Oh.
That's Soul saying, Sim, are you thinking about giving Vincent from Bloodhound a mask so it'll less obvious he doesn't look like Scott Adkins? Or is that a spoiler for book 2? Oh, no, mask. Scott Adkins would fucking knock the shit out of it. I know you don't agree, but I don't care.
Ginge?
If you want, maybe get the money, make the movie, put the actor you want in it. If I'm the one that gets it going, I'm probably going to try and get Scott Adkins because not only, can he play, can he look like it, he can act, he can also kick major fucking ass. And another one.
If I could cast somebody to play Judex, I'd go Vincent Cassel.
Vincent Cassel, yeah, but he's getting old. He's very...
Doesn't matter. He's in a mask and he's in a suit. So long as he remains to look somewhat in shape, like Judex walks everywhere. It's not like he he has a magic cape that allows him to traverse the shadows of Paris. I don't need the guy to be able to perform crazy fight scenes, and even still, I'd be able to do a solid stunt double. But the voice of Vincent Cassel is who I imagine when I'm when I'm writing the character. Everything that's how he sounds in my head.
The only thing is that's what I said is other than the fact that if he can hide his voice or change his accent, then supposedly he can.
Yeah.
But there's many actors that could play Vincent. Like one of the ones I would like is the one what's his name? I have a blank right now. He played Batman.
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale, yeah. Could be another one that could play Vincent pretty well.
Hmm.
Especially when you see him in Equilibrium. Equilibrium is a freaking underrated masterpiece. Go watch
It is an underrated film. I do enjoy Equilibrium a good deal.
Yeah, it's really freaking good. Like a lot of people try to cut that to label it like it's a ripoff of Matrix. It's just like copy of Matrix. No, it's nothing like the Matrix.
No, it's nothing like Matrix. I would say that it's way more akin to like Orwellian dystopia 1984.
Yeah, it's Orwell. It's an Orwell movie. It's the entire premise of it is they deem that art and feelings and anything that's feelings is illegal now. So you're forced to take a fucking drug to take that away, so you don't have any more feelings. You're really more like a zombie. So even touch, you don't have the sense of touch anymore.
Yeah, like you get. It's way more, or it's George Orwell's 1984.
It's technically if the Nazi ruled the world, if the Nazi actually won, and ruled the world. It's freaking insane. Come on, that scene when he's on the lie detector, dude. That scene great. when it just goes flat line, and dude, that scene, it's almost nothing, but the shivers, like the feeling it gives you on that moment, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Hojo's dropping another one in the chat. Dark City.
That was
very
good.
Very solid film.
Another Rufus one was something Darkly was pretty good too. What was it?
Which one?
Scanner Darkly.
Hey, Dave.
The 3D rotoscopic movie that they did with it's based on the what's his name? The fucking writer. Because we talk about Orwell, I only have those in my head now, but no, the other one, the one that wrote all do Android dream of alien sheep of robot?
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Electric sheep, yeah. Anyways,
robot dream of electric sheep.
Yeah, the guy that wrote the entire code for the just right now their name's freaking. I hate it when that happens.
So Brotherhood of the Wolf is a great movie, and Vincent Cassel is amazing.
Brotherhood of the Wolf is fucking insane.
Yeah, the inspiration for Bloodborne.
It's the reason,
or at least one of them. Because the hunter, the primary hunter costume of Bloodborne is straight up the highwayman suit. Why am I blanking on the actor's name?
Philip K.
The
Dick.
martial art guy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
Isaac Asimov sim. What's up?
What up, Will?
Yeah, there you go. Now, Odin, I have some questions. So this is number one. So will there be obviously like number twos? Will we be?
Yeah, no, like the plan. We have a storyline that we have planned, and we have. I mean, obviously, the plan will be to go through at bare minimum the liberation of France. Like in my mind, the final issue of the first of this story arc, if you would be Judex watching de Gaulle march through Paris under the Arc de Triomphe, and that's he's obviously the heartbeat of Paris has been restored, right? Like that would be like the final moment would be that. But like we have like a whole storyline planned with where Judex is going to head against this Nazi relic hunter, who is a member of the Teutonic Order of Knights. So like it's going to be a very fun ride, and I am very much looking forward to getting into more issues of Judex. It was a blast to write the first go round. He's a very fun character, and there's all sorts of opportunity to do like small little vignettes, because that's what we're going for. It's a pulp. We're going for that pulp feel, and it's an exciting character to be doing that with, and during a very fun period as well that I think a lot of people get a lot out of.
That's interesting. I was doing a little checkup on it. Like it says that 1963 the movie, right?
So there was a movie in 1963.
It says it was an actual remake of a 1916 French film serial with the same name. So that would technically make it older than fucking Zorro.
Yeah.
Because the Curse of Capistrano, that was 1919, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Interesting.
And Judex is a very very fun series. You can actually watch the original 1916 serial on YouTube. It's very entertaining. It's understandable why it has been considered as one of the potential influences of the Shadow. Specifically in like from a design and even ability standpoint. Because like the original,
I saw him more like the Phantom because I didn't know he had. I don't think he had powers, did he?
He didn't have powers per se, but he used hypnotism.
There you go.
And one of the Shadow's big things is he has the ability to cloud men's minds, but he also uses that for hypnotic persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and oh dang it! What was I going to say now? Cereal, not cereal. Still.
What?
He misspelled the second cereal. It's Sereal.
So we got. Did you get that fella from Twitter to do some work for you?
I haven't yet. So that was the funny thing. So my co-host for When in Rome, Matt Krotz, had like the other day had been looking up Judex on Twitter just to see if any like what all people were posting, and he ended up finding this post from this guy from 2011 where he posted up the Wikipedia to Judex. I was like, somebody make a Judex comic book now. And so Matt commented on that guy's post with my campaign link. And then he responded finally. And then I jumped in and I was like, happy to make your dreams come true. I hope I hope you enjoy. And so then I ended up finding out that this guy's a comic book artist and a pretty damn good one as well. So I've reached out, and if I can get a hold of him, I want to do is I want to have him do a print. I want him to do like a piece that we'll put on as a stretch goal print for the hashtag Judex for Dan stretch goal, and hopefully get that bring in his audience, because he's got 15,000 followers on Instagram, which is no small feat.
He's a popular boy.
And what's his name?
Dan. Pull it up.
Does Dynamite do a Black Terror book too? Yeah.
Yes, they do. They do all the public domain superheroes, to be quite honest.
Well, yeah, that's what they aim for. Is they aim for that like pulp golden age period. But like Dan McDade is the guy's name.
Dude, Dynamite's broke, and they're technically trying to make money with everything they can without having to pay anything. So,
yeah, well, I mean, they're
some of the artists.
Their biggest moneymaker for a long time was they had the Shadow publication rights for a hot minute, and they actually did some really good stuff with the Shadow. The only thing that I read that they did with the Shadow that I didn't like was the Cy Spurrier run, which started off like its first issue I thought was really strong, and then it just got weird and dumb.
I mean, to be quite honest, it's like it's one of the only freaking public domain characters like I've been sitting waiting for. The Shadow. Yeah, but with everything that I've seen, like IDW, there's a whole bunch of people that make them, right? And then there's a part of me, and then you have so many copies of it, rip-offs and this, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not.
I know that the Shadow comes into public domain in 2027.
Yep.
But the bigger complication with that is, even when the Shadow goes into public domain, there's expressions.
There's so many versions of it that created its own little IP Because the thing
Well,
is, if you do a version, let's just say your shadow does something like I don't know.
if you did the shadow book, you wouldn't be able to use any of his expressions and everything, because those are all trademark, and
Yep.
the trademark license is very different and has greater longevity. So you'd effectively be you'd be writing the shadow. You could use the name, you could use his original design.
But you cannot use the line "the shadow knows."
Yeah, it's like you can't use "Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of man."
Yeah.
You can't use any of that stuff because that's all been trademarked, and those things
Dynamite.
weren't initially part of his character. Even I think the design with the scarf, I'm not sure you'd be able to use because that came in later.
It's one of the reasons because when I was studying in university and so that one of my main questions when I was in in design and stuff like that, right? I'm like, why do they all? Okay, I have a question. Why do they always fuck up the characters? Why do they always make a change that's so out of fucking character that makes it like technically a different character? Like it could be a different character, and then like the discussion led into like it all has to do with the rights. Because the thing is, that's what you can do. You can take a public domain or whatever. Like you just say I do Spider-Man. Spider-Man. I bought the rights for Spider-Man, but I made some changes to Spider-Man that right now when he makes his own web for real, and I made him do something else extra. Now I just created a different IP for that movie, meaning I don't have to pay the same amount of rights. And I've created its own little entity in time. So when Spider-Man becomes public, everything I've done, it's its own little IP. You cannot do Spider-Man, a movie or whatever, with Spider-Man with the attributes that I've put in it because it's my IP. I've owned this. So that's why the problem with public domain, when there's so many versions of one character, you're fucked. You might as well just go like, okay, I'm done. Because they can come at you going like, okay, I'm suing you because this thing in the shadow that you put in your shadow, I put it in mine and I printed it before you. And that I own this. And then you're fucked.
Yeah, which is why if you're going to do public domain, you need to be creative about it. Like
I am trying to make sure that it's not something that's been done already like 25 times.
Yeah, I am working on a rework of another public domain character, and I'm using I'm using one of pretty much their initial concept that even the creators dropped after a few issues because it was difficult to make work. But I'm ambitious and I hate myself, so I'm figuring it out.
There was a character in public domain that I've been wanting to do, and the thing is, DC and a whole bunch of other people did different versions of it, including Dynamite. That I fucking went, you fucking assholes! And I was gonna do the Black Bat, which is the original Batman. I could still do it, but the thing is, it's such a fucking thin line right now for me to fuck up and get sued by DC or anybody else because they took the Black Bat as Batman, as the Batgirl. The entire premise of the Black Bat, it's the Batgirl, the mute Batgirl, that's his look. It's technically Batman without a face.
I'm pulling up some.
So I've done my work. I have designs. I might still do it, but that was one of the ones I wanted to do. It was the Black Bat, but
you could totally still do this.
Wanted to do.
You could totally still do this, and what I would even recommend doing is, we'll talk offline on that. But I have some ideas on how you could pull this off from a design standpoint and not have to worry about anyone trying to come after you. There's definitely a way to do it. I know Dynamite has done a version recently as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. That there's a few people that have done it, but DC, when I was researching it, is everything. Like technically, you know the bat flag that you see in fucking Trenchcoat?
Yeah.
That's Black Bat.
Pretty much.
The fact that when he fucking imprints the bat on him in prison, that's Black Bat. That's why I was into it. Everything you see from the Snyder Batman, it's the Black Bat.
Yeah. And you could still do all that stuff and you'd be fine. Especially if you were able to back it up with actual panels from the original book that showcase his characterization and what have you. But like you could totally pull that off. And the character was created.
I had the concept art. I've worked on it. Like I have the story plan. Then I saw this, and I'm like, I'll put it on the shelf for now. But yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do. It's the one, like I was saying before it was the Shadow. Then I felt, then I'm like, I'm going to do the Black Bat. And then Dynamite did it, and I'm like, you fucking cunts. They're really going after every fucking thing.
Well, well, I mean, DC did this in the like that was the whole. There's a whole series of court proceedings known as the Funny Book Wars, where like DC Comics went after a whole bunch of the smaller publishers from the Golden Age. Yeah. There's a lot of these publishing groups had it contractually stipulated when they hired their artists and writers to make them their version of Superman. And so they used that language as a precedent to gain a lot of character rights and destroy a lot of competing publishers in the 1950s.
Yep. That's one of the things that's the entire premise behind the Black Bat. They won. They sued Batman and they won.
Yeah.
But then they also lost in another way.
Yeah.
Because they won the case, but they got crushed. Because the thing is, DC went after them like crazy. They wanted them out, but they won, meaning they could use it. DC had to be careful not to step over them neither. But then they went out of business. So DC, what they did is that's what they did with a few other alterations of Batman, is that they did the Black Bat in their universe.
Soul says, Sim, call it Poutine Noir or something like that. No one will notice.
But that's the thing, is if you check it out, that was the premise of it, is that he was the one that was breaking people. He was the one that was marking them with a fucking bat on them, like tattooing them or like burning them, scarring them with a bat, so that when he would go to prison, he would get to beat the fuck out. Like, that was the entire premise of him, and he was the inspiration for the actual Batman, and
All right, so we got a fancy Russ cover. Nice. Always like Russ's work.
Mm-hmm.
And Soul, he got the feature tier, so he got all of them, didn't he?
Yep, on the feature tier, which is for $50, you get pretty much everything that you can think of on the campaign in terms of the books. You get the Black Terror crossover with a metal print of the cover. You get the main cover of the book, and you get the two variants. We have an Erwin J. Rosa cover which is an homage to an Alex Ross Shadow cover, and we've got Russ Leach's cover, which you were already showing off, and then obviously you get the glow in the dark print by Rich Ayala and a coin in a collector box of La Mahian, which is a part of the story of the book. And then you obviously get all the stretch goal items, which we've unlocked 3 of.
Nice. So there you go. So you can take one of those covers and send it to Marinus. Works out for him.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone just say Snyder? Ew. This Castle Sim Oden is the same guy that teamed up with Kumari?
Oh, yeah.
Careful, Sim. Oden is the same guy that teamed up with Kumari. Okay.
What's Kumari?
Oh, he's talking about Connery from Shift. He had reached out to me initially, like he hired me to do the writing on his book, and then I helped build his campaign, and that was a experience. Good, well-meaning kid, but was well over his depth, and I know that I think Neff has been helping him out. I'm not sure, but like, yeah. But yeah,
So yeah,
I did help Connery out with Shift.
Just make talented and good people in the project. Yes.
I don't even know what Shift is.
It was a book that came out that was fun. That Connery tried to fund I want to say a year, maybe even a year and a half ago. It was like an anthropomorphic world book.
No, I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one. He wanted to come on the show, I think, at one point. Can't remember if we ever did.
It didn't quite make it. He actually got some legs towards the end. He came pretty close to funding, but yes, and Neff and Frequency Girl have been a massive part in helping out with this book. They've done outstanding editorial work, and Neff has helped me flesh out the first issue and helped to elevate it quite a good deal. So like this is a story from me, and I did like the initial draft of the script, but there's been a lot of work that Neff and I have put in, a lot of hours on that. So it's pretty damn tight.
That's right. Follow Neff and Frequency Girl, who are also on board with you guys. That's right. And so could you put the link to Odin's YouTube channel in the chat? Because everybody needs to go to Odin's YouTube channel and
my history streams that get like 2 or 3 views.
Well, I need company when I watch them, so give people the link to subscribe. They're good streams. More people need to know about it. Let's see. This is good art.
Yes, Fabrizio Ugolini is phenomenal.
Good job. Yeah. Where'd you find him at?
ArtStation is where I found him at.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten pretty good at scouring like online portfolios and social media for artistic talent, and I generally am able to establish negotiation communication with them and figure out rates, everything like that, and be able to figure stuff out along those lines. And I'm pretty good at it at this point.
Fabrizio, that an Italian feller?
Yep, he is an Italian fellow. Yes.
Neat. He does good work over there.
So, Sugar, you're in West Virginia?
Yeah.
That's not all that. Like, what part are you in? Like the part closer to the border of Virginia, or are you more west?
He's in the boot.
Mineral County. I'm up there towards like DC and such.
Okay, that's not that far from me.
He's in.
I'm in the Manassas area.
Oh, okay. Well, Manassas. Yeah, ain't too bad then. I do like the gun. Gun's nice.
Yes, the Widow is
why,
fantastic.
Why does it look like? Why does it have that licorice shape on the barrel?
So I wanted the gun to not just look like I for designing the weapon. I wanted it to feel like an ornate piece. I didn't want it to just feel like a cold thing. Like I wanted it to have its own personality, because the gun in and of itself is its own character, right? So the gun, the Widow, is made from the blade of the guillotine, and it holds in it however many rounds it needs for justice to be served, right? So Judex doesn't have to load this thing. It's like when he picks it up, justice is exact in his hand. So when he unloads it, it will dispense as many casings as there were, and they will only have as much bullets as were needed for justice. So it was a way to make this pistol feel like something else, feel like something more. It's not just a pistol. It's not just a weapon. It is this tool of justice. It is succinct. It is surgical, and it's theatrical. It's dramatic, and I wanted to convey that in as much as possible. So like we have, you know, the face of Le Machian is etched into the area right in front of the the wheel. You know, like you've got engravings on the handle and the grip. You've got a twist in the barrel. It was all meant to bring to life this weapon that's more than just more than just a instrument of death in the hand of its user. It is something more. It has a higher purpose.
Is this revolver based off the, how you say, La Fosse show, or however you say it?
So initially, yeah, like the idea was initially to have it be based off like the World War One French revolver for the field field officers, but as we went through, it's actually like if you look at the gun that we have on there as it's modeled, we ended up modeling it after the Peacemaker.
Yeah, I mean because I originally thought Peacemaker, but then looking at this with the hammer reminds me of the Le Fosse show, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely Peacemaker. It is cool how you had that, because it looks realistic. It looks like a functioning gun, just highly engraved and decorated.
And for that thing, it's 3D printed and it does function. I mean, obviously you can't like shoot it. It doesn't have like a firing pin. It doesn't have any of that stuff. The hammer won't strike a casing hard enough for it to it won't be able to do any of that stuff. But like you can cock it back. You can pull the wheel out. Like in all other aspects, it functions.
Not functional. Come on, Odin. Gee.
Look, man, the last thing I need is
put a bullet. You can't put a bullet in and shoot someone. What's the point?
That's the last thing I need on.
I know, right?
Campaign, is to have somebody like buy one of these and then go off and do something stupid.
Yeah. At this point, you could put a Nerf gun in there, send it by mail, and you'll get in trouble.
Yeah. Might want to put I don't know, some sort of little, when they send them out, make sure to put a note. This is not a real firearm intended.
Oh, you do like they used to do.
I'm sure Neff and everyone have thought of that already.
What you do is you put a little red cap. You put a little red cap at the tip of the barrel, like they used to do in the toy guns.
Because next thing you know, somebody will actually try to do that and end up blowing the gun up or something and hurting themselves.
Yeah. I am sure Kim and Neff have already thought of that as a thing where it would be like we have a disclaimer just to make sure that we have our T's crossed and I's dotted.
Who's it? Matt MK. Interesting. And then KC Neff. Is that Frequency Girl?
Yep. And so if you get that tier, you will obviously I think they get your measurements and then they make you the cloak.
Fancy.
There's only one of those left available. So
those two mouths are being chewing tobacco factory.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, chicken plants and paper mills, baby. Let's see. If the mini Nightverse figurine appears in an upcoming Jackass movie, you'll know what time it is.
Okay. I don't get it, but okay.
Well, they might not make any more Jackass movies, so they are getting up there in age. They just did that one.
They're still making some?
Yeah, they made that
I don't know. Maybe. I know that they did one fairly recently, but nobody really cared. I don't think that it did particularly well.
I don't think anybody cared. I think people stopped caring after the first movie.
People were definitely still hyped through 3.
Yeah, all the way to Jackass 3D.
Yeah, because that movie, obviously it got terrible reviews. It's not a movie, it's reality TV as a film. People just doing stupid stuff, but it made a solid amount of money.
Yes.
Like especially for how low budget it is, because it's Jack. Like they're not like it's not like they have costuming or what have you. It's just them doing stupid stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The last movie they had like new younger people with them too. I guess they were trying to pass the torch, doing stupid shit. What was I gonna say? Now I don't remember. Just now I'm thinking of Jackass. Gosh damn it. BMX jousting.
Oh goodness, I remember that.
BMX jousting. Yep.
Party boy. Just going around. Let's see.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm surprised that they're still making some. To be quite honest.
So says
They did one like a year or so ago, and I don't think that they're planning on doing anything else. Like those guys are up there in age, and like Bam Margera has treated his body like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And
he was not
like, I don't
allowed
think
to do
he
the
can
movie.
take it.
Yeah, he was kicked out of the movie.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was signed on because he's been a wreck ever since what's his name died, and so
Who
he's
died?
been like his friend that was in the Jackass movies. Oh,
Yeah, they lost one of the core members. I know who you're talking about.
Ryan Dunn.
Yeah.
Really?
Ever
Okay.
since Ryan Dunn died, Bam's been a mess. He's had problems with like drugs and alcohol and everything. So they basically told him, because he's been having so many issues and messing everything up, they said, we'll bring you in, we'll sign you into a contract, but part of the contract is you have to stay clean. And
he's not going to do that.
Yeah, so he ended up not doing it, and they booted him out. Like you can actually see him,
especially considering that Steve-O fought addiction for like years and has been clean for a long time.
Well, for a long time, Steve-O like kind of like was trying to be there for him and stuff, and he finally was like, look, I can't. He even finally stopped. And but yeah, he shows up in one. Bam shows up in one of the like stunts, and that's it.
Yeah.
But like Johnny ends up getting like sent to the hospital because he does like another bull stunt with a bull, and it like rocks him and he goes flying. I watched it when it came out because friends wanted to go see it, and I was like, sure. I liked Jackass back in the day. I enjoyed it. I watched the show.
Yeah,
I'll go watch it. Way too much dong in that movie.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that moment where I think his name was Johnny Lennox.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, Knoxville, and he goes to Butterbean. I'm gonna fucking.
Butterbean knocks his ass out.
And I always thought it was funny, and especially that it worked. Like punched out, snoring, and you'd be surprised when you punch out somebody that hard, they do snore. It is a thing. Then and it's surprising as fuck when you do it the first time. Punch somebody out like one punch in boxing, bang, and the guy's on the floor and he starts going. You're like, what?
That's the parody skit. Kenny Rogers Jackass. Yeah, first part that MTV did. So stupid yet so much better than anything they did show. Oh yeah, I love the Kenny Rogers skit.
And what's up, Neff?
Kenny Rogers. I liked Mad TV back in the day. Look what I can do. Got Neff. Hail Nerds, Hail Sim and Chris.
Yep. He's coming in and hanging out. They're actually working. We're actually doing some edits on the next creative project we have, which is called The Field, and that'll be coming out in November timeframe. It's kind of like, cyborg Captain America, pretty much is the whole idea. Is like he's a rehabilitated war veteran that's got cybernetic limbs on his right side. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. We've got an outstanding art team on that book. We've got Kevin Keane is doing our principal line art, who has been doing like covers for Spawn, Gunslinger, Spawn, like all the main like McFarlane books right now, and he just did interiors on King Spawn for an issue, I think on issue 35. So
wow.
it's really cool to get to work with him.
Yeah, you're getting some big names in there.
As I said, it's become my superpower to get talent.
Oden's got the connections. He's a talker. He can just woo him into things.
I really think the thing is that I find the best way. I end up finding the best way to get in touch with these guys, and I have the guts to ask the questions on like, hey, are you actually available to do something, and like establish a dialogue with them. Because I think a lot of people, they get intimidated by the work that they see in a portfolio, and like this guy, there's no way that I'll be able to work with this guy, But if you never shoot your shot, you never know. There are definitely times where I've had people get back to me, and it's like, yeah, I can't do that. But like every now and again, you get an answer, and it's more frequently than you'd imagine.
I went sim Saturday. I went and watched that Sound of Freedom.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
I saw Oppenheimer yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
It's fantastic. It will completely shatter any hope you may have for humanity. Like I walked out of that movie and was just like, we're screwed. Like, Neff's in the chat said, I have 2 names for you, Oden. Go track them down and get them. I'll do my best. But anyways, yeah.
So how was the Sound of Freedom?
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed it. Well, I mean, enjoy isn't the right word, but yeah, I guess it's very emotional. It's not like some actiony movie. It's very like drama. Meant to get you invested and.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I don't want to go see it. It's kind of a weird thing. I know how I am about this shit.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna get out of there feeling violent as fuck.
It definitely does. Yeah, really try to get you with the emotions and stuff.
But dude, I'm sorry. Just the scene of the kids screaming or shit like that would get me. I'm that type of guy.
Yeah, it will get you. Then there's like some.
I just watched the trailer, dude. It gets my fucking blood boiling. I want to kill people. Like, it's weird. I'm one of those. It's like, yeah, I do have that little justice thing in me, and that type of shit. Yeah, I'd die. I'd go there, and yeah.
But it's not like all it's not meant to it does have some hope in it and things like that. So.
I mean, like at the end of the day, the good guys win in that particular incident.
Right.
So like the whole thing is.
But it's a win. He gets his target out, but realizes there's a whole bunch more worse. Because one of the things I was listening to, it's like the guy, all this. Like they started a documentary, and it was supposed to be about Ukraine shit because the guy's wife and Mel Gibson asked him to go get some kids out of the Ukraine when the freaking war started. Goes over there within the first 5 minutes that he's in the fucking place, he gets offered like kids as low as 11, and that's how that documentary went from being about the war in Ukraine to sup.
Yeah, no, it's definitely grotesque, but I mean, the fact of the matter is there are still people trying to change it.
And if you know anybody that comes from those type of countries, or actually Mexico and shit like that, and you think those type of worlds are not real, they're just fantasy to scare you and shit like that. No, it's even fucking darker than that.
They're very much there.
Kids and people are just fucking something to trade in most of the rest of the fucking world. There's no worth to your life other than money.
Let's see. We got. Chris pre-ordered tickets for Barbie. No, I didn't. I have no.
It doesn't matter if you did. Like the movie is that I went and I saw it with my sister because she wanted to see it. The trailers looked entertaining. Screw it, I went and saw it. Yes, it's a feminist film. It is also very funny. Like it just is what it is. You're not like Paul, like it is a political movie, it is politically driven, but it does so in a way that is clever, and they even, I think, poke fun at themselves a good deal as well, which you should do
without knowing.
I don't know. I think that they're the people are trying to say that they do.
My point is when they try to do that type of stupid, messages or with forced propaganda or political thing, they always end up unwantingly making fun of themselves because they think they're so righteous.
The self poking fun at stuff that they do is very clearly intentional. Like the way that it's written and everything, like they're actively taking ownership to some of the stuff. It is a much more clever film than I've seen certain people giving it credit for. I think that its biggest fault is, so at the end of the day, when you make a film about something like Barbie or Legos or anything like that, the ultimate goal is what you're trying to get people, the target demographic, to buy more of those toys. And the meta narrative that they do with Barbie is clever, but it's too high concept for that target audience of an 8-year-old girl. Whereas Lego pulled a similar thing with a meta narrative, but it could be appreciated by a 10-year-old. And so the Lego movies, the two that they did, and then even Lego Batman, increased the sales of Lego. They actually benefited from that. This movie is not going to increase sales of Barbie dolls at all. And in that, it failed. But in terms of bringing money into the box office and appealing to the film's target demographic and everything like that, and plot structure, everything like that, it's a good movie, and they're doing well because of it. But it's not going to cause the Barbie brand to grow the way that the Lego movies caused the Lego brand to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say. Can we?
They kind of turned me off. I even wanted to see it when it's like, oh, here's a trans Barbie and here's a fat Barbie. I'm like,
there wasn't a trans Barbie.
Yes, there is.
Where?
You don't
Barbies.
You don't know there's a trans character playing a Barbie.
I didn't know that, but the only thing I know is all the Barbies that show up in the movie are Barbies that have existed in the actual world. I didn't know that there is a trans actor playing one, but what?
There's never been a freaking fat Barbie. And it's Harry.
No, there has.
He plays Barbie and Greta Gerwig new film starring Margaret. Yep. Harry.
Yeah,
He's on a lot of the pictures of the movie. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I didn't know. I didn't really I wasn't paying close to all the pre-promotional stuff. I saw the initial 2 or 3 trailers.
That's the thing is when they do when they promote the thing, and it's mainly they put that as the key fucking thing, stuff like that. To me, it's enough. No matter the side that you're on, I don't give a fuck. It's just
it's you're promoting the film on something that doesn't have any bearing on the actual product itself. And I definitely agree with that, but I didn't pay attention to any of that.
It's like if you're trying to promote me Batman on the bigotry of the rich people of Gotham City, I'm gonna go, fuck off.
Yeah.
even if it is Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Well, Zack's got nothing to do with the future of Batman. Thank goodness. Anyways,
technically, I'm sorry. We did get the best fucking Batman on screen.
We got Ben Affleck gave us the best Batman performance with some of the worst writing. like literally some of the worst writing.
Dude, the writing thing, I hear that often, and it's often by writers that don't like certain things. So the thing is,
this is what I will say.
Just when people are saying bad writing, it depends on who. Snyder is not the greatest writer. Let's just fucking be frank about it. I'm not trying to
he didn't write it.
Writer.
So to be clear, he didn't write any of those films. So Batman versus Superman was the first draft was written by David S. Goyer, and then Ben Affleck brought in Chris Terrio to unfuck David S. Goyer's script, which WB would only let him do marginally, because the first thing that Chris Terrio said when he came in was, having this be a versus film is stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. And they went, no, we want this to happen. And so Chris Terrio had to go in and try and bring a soul to a soulless David S. Goyer script. All right. I
agree. It should not have been Batman v Superman. It should have just been Batman and Superman. That's it. Like the comic book.
You can have them be at odds with one another, sure. They're two sides of the same coin. They have different views and different approaches on justice, which they can make them antagonistic towards one another. But the whole dynamic between them in that film is straight up, we want to kill one another, and there's no levity to either character, so neither provides a proper foil to the other.
Nope. There's no reason for them to actually fight. Like the way it's done, it's a lazy writing.
Bad.
It's lazy writing to make it happen. It's weird.
Now
I have to give it to.
Now Ben does a phenomenal job with a bad script, and that is what I will give him, and is why I think we were robbed. Like I would have loved to see a solo Batman film with a better script that actually paid homage to the character the way that he was supposed to.
But when we were supposed to, it was written by Ben Affleck and that guy you were saying. But the thing I'm trying to say is, I didn't.
Chris Terrio, yeah.
From what I just said, the best on-screen action Batman, the best on-screen Batman action, has nothing to do with writing.
Oh, I didn't hear the action.
That's what I mean. That's like
I will say the warehouse
scene action Batman, like the warehouse scene is sick. Like it's a great choreographed scene. It makes no context within how it happens in the movie. But it's a scene out of freaking Dark Knight Return mixed with the freaking
it should have happened at the. You want to know where that scene should have been, Sim? That should have been at the beginning of the movie, right before he is interrogating the guy, and the cops show up. That should have been what that was. But the fact of the matter is that where it's placed in the movie, Lex Luthor's goons aren't waiting for Batman; they're waiting for Superman, and Superman would have cleaned them out before they could even press a trigger. They would have been especially Snyder's Superman, who has no qualms flying an African warlord through the back of a building at Mach 6.
All right. So
an African warlord at Mach 6 in a wall. Is that what he did?
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie, Superman rescues Lois by flying the African warlord through the back of the hut, and he's going at Mach 6.
So I just seen
that man is liquefied.
Hold on. I just seen something on Facebook. I just seen a picture of Marinus, what he does on his days off here. Let me share this.
I don't know.
I just seen this pop up.
That's delightful.
Dude, that is huge corn. Either that or he's a dwarf.
There you go. Apparently
that's one hell of corn.
The game go. Okay, never mind. I just wanted to say that.
But yeah, there were certain visual and stylistic things that the Snyder Universe brought to DC that I think were very good. And
it's one of the things
overall it had casting, but I can't give it anything else but that.
I think it's funny that everybody always bring the Martha thing, because it is fucking stupid how they made it happen. How they made it happen is fucking stupid. There was multiple ways they could have used that, but I understand why they did it. I think in a way it was clever. It is clever in a way, because it's one of those things that you don't. Most people don't realize. Yeah, people don't realize.
It's
It's fucking clever.
It's a
but
smart,
the way it
it's a
was done
smart
was
thing on
stupid.
paper, but the execution is poor.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been done in another way. Like, just
Well, and I think that the other big problem here, and a lot of the problems with Batman versus Superman happen on the Superman end of the spectrum, is you have this version of Superman that not 30 minutes prior to this scene says nobody stays good, and then he's trying to redeem Batman, but he's given up on humanity. But now he's trying to where was the cathartic moment?
But technically,
where was the moment that he realized?
The idea was supposed that he says there's no more good, then he gets hope again from her, and he tries it last time with Batman. Like, it's stupid, but if you watch the extended edition, there's
I've
more
seen
to
the
it.
extended edition,
There's a
Sim,
bit
and
more to
the
it,
problem
not-
is that there
but
isn't a
not
moment.
enough.
Like he saves Lois and he says that line, and then they do not interact again until after that scene.
Dude, the entire premise is I don't even go as far as that. I just think the entire fucking premise of him going there, Batman not even fucking listening. He's not listening. He just fucking wants to kill him. That's not Batman. I'm sorry, that's not Batman. Batman would not just fucking if Superman would come in front of Batman and go, dude, I need to talk to you about something.
This also leads to
Batman
the other
would
big
listen
problem
to the
with
motherfucker without fucking doing anything. That is fucking Batman.
Well, and this is the other problem with the film is, again, let's talk about the fact that Lex Luthor knows who Batman is, and that's never touched. I can give you the Clark Kent thing because people have bitched about Clark Kent's like alter ego with the glasses and everything. I think that people greatly discount how much covering your profile will obscure your true identity and even body language and everything. Like I think that people definitely discount that. But all right, let's play that game. Lex Luthor sees through that disguise and he knows Clark is Superman. All right, fine. I can live with that. Batman hides his identity better than the U.S. government does anything. Like he has countermeasure after countermeasure to prevent people from figuring out who he is. And you don't have a single sequence dedicated towards Lex finding out that he's Batman. That's fucking unearned. That is 100% unearned, and it's bullshit. And it like so much of Batman versus Superman is everything moves at the speed of plot.
The thing is that dude, they had to cut in places. I agree with you. There's some places that didn't cut properly, but they can't put everything in it. Some of it you have to make up on your own.
You can't put everything in, but that is something that you have to do. That it has to be.
The thing is, one of the things that I think is stupid is some of the most clever things they put in the movie, in Man of Steel or something like that, were dropped. Like one of the things that I bring up to people's attention is that was not supposed to be Lex Luthor. That was supposed to be Lex Luthor's son or clone. Because he says it in there, the Lex in the company, it's not me, it's my father Lex.
Yeah.
It's not him. So that's not supposed, like me, dude, all alone, I was watching Man of Steel, I was expecting to see Lex Luthor come out. You know what I mean? Because it's in the comics. Yeah. It's in the comics. Lex Luthor had a son, had a clone son, had this, had that. Right.
Well, I mean,
it would have made sense with everything. The way that he was a bit of a millennial, the this, the that. Yeah. I hate my dad. This, that. Like his dad is not Lex. Like Lex Luthor's dad, his name's not Lex.
Yeah. Well, and so like that's the whole thing. Is like there are a lot of bad decisions, but again,
I think he got lost in the fact that he doesn't write his own fucking scripts. He has a whole bunch of fucking ghostwriter writing his thing. And then after that, keeping everything on track was pretty fun.
He's not a good writer himself. Sucker Punch is one of the worst movies I have ever seen, and I envied the main character for her lobotomy at the end of it. I wanted to get the lobotomy. It is terrible. Zack Snyder is a guy that you give that man.
It is the worst movie he ever did.
Like you give that man a book, like let's say Frank Miller's The 300 or even Alan Moore's Watchmen, and you say, do this page for page, don't change anything, or if you do, run the change by us first to get the green light, and just follow this and adapt it. And then you get a pretty solid one-for-one translation. Watchmen, he obviously changes the ending, but like I honestly think that his ending does work. But like the point is that he is the guy that you bring in to do that. You don't say, hey, Zach, we want you to create our cinematic universe and create and recreate these characters how you would envision them, because Zack Snyder doesn't get the majority of those characters. His version of Superman is not Superman. And that is problematic because especially when you're bringing in characters like Batman, you need Superman to act as a foil and bring both sides of the argument to the table and bring in different approaches of justice to influence the rest of your universe. And Zach doesn't get it. And 3/4 of the ideas that guy had for the future are god awful. Just straight up terrible.
But from what we read, yeah.
That's not from what we read. That is from what came out of that man's mouth at multiple conventions.
Yeah, I know. You said you wanted to have Batman have a kid with Lois Lane and shit. But
yeah, there's that. There is the fact that he was going to make
it. It did happen. It did happen. It did happen in an Elseworld in the fucking comics. That's the thing.
But like, that's an Elseworld sim. Nobody gives a shit about Elseworlds.
The Dark Knight Return was an Elseworld as well in the beginning.
It was. It is an Elseworld, which is why if you want to make a Dark Knight Returns movie, you have to make a Dark Knight Returns movie because it doesn't work in mainline continuity.
And people are like saying, like, you know, the Superman in there. Dude, if you read Birthright, come on, it was pretty much Birthright.
It's pretty much Birthright and Earth One, but it's not good. Like, it's missing so much. Like, he tries to pull these clever things, but all he does, like, he doesn't set them up right. Like, you have the death of Pa Kent, which is meant to do one thing, but all it does is make you feel like Pa Kent hated being Clark's dad.
See, so it's like, Sim, why are you still defending that guy? I'm not defending that guy, dude. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, there's people that has a hate boner for a guy. When I'm like, dude, that guy's a great director.
I think that Zack Snyder did some things well.
If you're always complaining about one thing, like, you know, like a lot of people will go, like, an example is, oh, I hate that movie because of the Martha thing is stupid. Do you have anything else?
There's so much more to dislike about Batman versus Superman.
I love the Man of Steel movie. I love the Man of Steel movie. I hate what they did with the dad. I hate fucking Lois Lane in there. She's a fucking ditz, and she does nothing. She's not a fucking reporter at all. She's fucking stupid as fuck.
And I hated that they have her know who Clark is.
I love the way that he sets up the story of Clark. The way that you're introduced to him a bit different. The way that he shows that, you know, his powers overwhelming him in school. I thought that was cool. The birthright aspect of seeing the growth of the guy learning by doing mistakes, and then, you know, collateral damage of doing something, because that's something that happens. He tries to stop something and ends up hurting people, making it worse. I think that's the entire premise that was important in there. Now the way that it was done,
the Zod scene, Zod scene was missing.
The movie suffers because they try to save time and shave thing of the story, and then the plot has a problem because then you kind of like dip the thing that made that scene valuable. And then,
to that point, Sim, I think that one of the things that was missing, especially when you're looking at like the Zod fight at the end of Man of Steel, and it's something that the Flash gets a lot of flack because for very good reasons. But there's actually the fight between Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Zod has this fantastic moment where she tries to save people from a helicopter that was going down, and then Zod just smashes through it. There's the intent to save, and then there is Zod coming through and killing everyone anyway. And so I think that was what was missing from that fight was, yes, Superman's doing everything that he can to stop Zod, but there's no there's no intent to save others except for in the final moment where he snaps Zod's neck. And I think that's the problem. Is it that moment to stop Zod with snapping the neck? Yeah, he's trying to save this family, but he hasn't been trying to do any of that prior.
Yes.
Like he's not going around and trying to like save people, and then Zod's just going, nope, I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
but dude, you're fighting with somebody. You're not gonna stop the fight. Go, hey, hold on, I'm gonna go try and save them.
No, but that's Superman. That is Superman. Like just because you or I wouldn't.
That is Superman. What you're seeing in Man of Steel is the guy that's about to become Superman. That's my point, and that's what I like about that movie. Now, was it done perfectly? No, it was not.
No,
but I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
The biggest.
We can criticize
biggest
all the movie.
are,
We can rip apart every fucking movie. There's no perfect movie. It rarely fucking exists.
Well, I mean, there are like a few that I would argue are perfect, but you'll
say it's perfect, but somebody can come in and pick at it with
something.
And
Absolutely, that's because art is subjective.
That's my point. So there's no perfect movie. Even if you think there's a movie that's perfect for you, somebody's gonna go, oh, there's bad writing. No, it's
I would say that anybody who argues that there's bad writing in something like Citizen Kane, we need to have a talk.
Look, it's like I hate the storytelling. I hate the writing of fucking what's the name? Ultraviolet. Movie sucks. Like the story plot and everything.
I do remember that movie. That had Mila Jovovich in it, right?
Yeah, but I've always said it that way. But okay, the visuals didn't grow up well right now. Like if you try to rewatch, it's not the same. But back then, I used to call it a eye candy. I said, technically, you're going to see that because you want to see stuff that you wanted to see, and that's what it feels like. Yeah. You're seeing a bike going off a building. It's entire gravity bike. You had this, you had that, you had this, and I'm like, they stole an idea from somebody and they wanted to please visuals. Some stuff are done to be visually pleasant. Some stories some stories are just made for that goddamn story. There's no action. Everything else is boring as fuck. I'm like, I'm fed up of having people telling everybody to do because. If people were always trying to follow what they should do, we would not be getting those very valuable pieces like Quentin Tarantino's movies, the Star Wars thing. Like people, if all those great fucking things, if we would try to do them now, they wouldn't get done. They just wouldn't. Because it's too much of it. It's not the perfect recipe. Hey, you didn't make this happen in the first 15 minutes, and when they hit that 45 minutes, that didn't happen. It's fucking. It's kind of like that's why I keep telling people: stop telling people to write Batman like Superman. Just let them do what they want, and then tell them what if you liked it or not.
Well, and
like that, we
Batman,
don't because otherwise we don't get anything
written
new.
Like Superman, there are definitely similarities between the two.
You don't get anything
at the end
new.
Of the day, they're two different sides of justice. And that's the whole point.
Yeah, and I think they're the yin and the yang.
Yeah, and to that effect, Superman more than justice embodies hope. Batman more than hope embodies justice, but they both provide those things to their respective settings as well. People become emboldened and hopeful in Gotham because of Batman's stand against crime. But at the end of the day, that's a side effect. That's not what he is necessarily.
Yeah, but there's also the other side of it where he also made those super villains going all out.
He does make a good deal of them, but he also discourages a good deal of them as well. There are a lot of people that like it. Probably one of my favorite issues of a Batman story.
It discourages regular criminals.
Yeah,
not super.
There was the final issue of the Scott Snyder Greg Capullo run was all about this guy who earlier in the series was like a street level thug that got beat up by Batman, and when he ended up dedicating himself to improving himself in prison, and he's now writing a column for the Gotham paper called Gotham Is, and it's a fantastic issue. Highly recommend.
I'm sorry. So you may not like Snyder, but what you just said is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I don't think there's another director that could have done a better job than him. Give him a fucking good story. Give him a good script. Give him a good script. And
I disagree because
Snyder is a great visual storyteller. There's not that many.
He is a great visual
There's not that
storyteller, but
many-
there's plenty of other great visual storytellers out there as well. I think there's plenty of people that.
Yeah, but the way he says it is
George
the way he
Miller's
said-
Justice
dude, the way he said it,
sounded
you
way
could
better.
give it to any other director, it could be better. That's my point. It's
Mhm.
like let's just not be a fucking dicker and give the guys
I
credit.
disagree that there's no aspirational heroes in Warhammer 40K. So
Like the guy's a great storyteller. Does very
Yeah, but right.
but
Yeah,
to be
but
his
right.
own
I
writer,
do think that
To be
Snyder
his
would have
own
made a
writer?
fantastic Punisher film.
to be his own writer, not so much.
Yeah, I think if you got Snyder to direct and bring his cinematography team to do a Punisher movie, that would slap.
But dude, if you had
That would
if
be-
you had a serious good team on any of those fucking Batman or stuff like that, or Superman, like that's what I always said. He's not the great writer. He should have a better team of writer on that shit. But he's a great fucking director. It's just sad to see that like dude. I'm not a Snyder stan. I don't even want to see that fucking zombie. What's his name again? The fucking thing they did. The zombie.
Oh, are you talking about the Netflix movies that he's done?
Yeah, I'm not even interested.
Yeah,
in
like,
that
and
shit.
he's doing Rebel Moon as well, which everyone's geeking out about, and I'm kind of
Not-
just like it's just Snyder Star Wars. And I mean, granted, that's what it's supposed like. It was his pitch that he gave to Disney and Lucasfilm for a Star Wars thing, but like, I don't have an interest to see that. I mean, like if it's good, it's good. I mean, I'll like and I'll admit, his Snyder's cut of Justice League was way better than I was expecting it to be. Is it the greatest thing since sliced bread, like a lot of people treat it? No, but it's way better than I would say BVS at the very least. And it's an improvement over the theatrical cut. So like, I mean, whatever. But I am excited to see where Gunn takes things.
Me not.
I think that I think that if you watched Guardians Volume 3,
I hated it.
that is a James Gunn movie, not an
I hated
MCU
it.
movie.
I hated it
What? Why?
because it fucking sucks. It's just no fucking point. There's no solution. There's no conclusion to any fucking plot.
There
There's
is
plot
it.
holes-
There is
There's plot
multiple
holes everywhere.
conclusions.
They change everything. They change everything from the sovereignty that they did in the fucking first one and second one. It's fucking shit.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly. But like,
Okay.
I mean, who knows?
About,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that he's going to do a great job with Legacy. The cast is shaping up very well. David Corn Sweat is a great choice. And for those trying to poke at, hey man,
Yeah,
and, like,
Brightburn was sucked. It was shit.
Brightburn was a parody of Man of Steel, dude.
It's a fucking piece of shit movie. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's a
Fucking
parody. Okay, cool. Whatever.
It's
Does
not a
that
parody. It's not meant to be a parody. It's meant to be
Snyder
a
has
horror
had
movie.
just as many stinkers. Look, man, I like we could go off on that on a whole other thing, but I do think that Gunn has a solid idea. I like the idea of treating it like the old Bruce Timm, Paul Dini animated universe, where you aren't trying to give everybody an origin story every 5 seconds. You just treat the universe as it is, because most people know about this shit already. We don't need a new origin story for Superman. We don't need a new origin story for Batman. Sure, maybe do that for an occasional like smaller character, but like having a fully fleshed out universe that everyone just exists in, I think that that's more than feasible. And it's what George Miller was going to do in Justice League Mortal. And his script for that was a banger. That would have been a great movie. If the writer's strike hadn't happened back when Miller was producing, that would have been a solid film. It would have probably aged poorly because some of the actors have been caught up in some pretty fucked up controversies. Coughs in what's his name? Guy that played Lone Ranger, that was going to play Batman, Armie Hammer, who had a bunch of wild ass things come up about him. But like the story in and of itself was great. And that would have been a good movie. I think that that's the right approach to take, is trying to use the old AU from the late 90s and early 2000s as a template to base things around, and explore from there, and then also give focus to IP outside of Batman and Superman, because there's more to DC than that.
I don't know.
And that is where its strength really can come in.
The last Guardian of the Galaxy was very disappointing to me, and that's fucking.
And that's you're right, but it clearly resonated with audiences. It made boatloads of money, and people loved it. The average user consensus on that was very positive. So it will be it can bring life back to the brand, which it does not have right now. Nobody cares about anything that comes out.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the freaking James Gunn shit neither. When you think about it, dude. Look at
I disagree with that, because he's still trending all over the place.
You can, but can I finish my idea?
Yeah, go on ahead.
The thing is, when you look at Suicide Squad, it's technically fucking Guardian of the Galaxy all over again, and the ending sucked. It was fucking stupid. And I think he's gonna fuck everything up. I just think that
I disagree with
take a break. I think they should just take a fucking break and just fucking reassess everything.
They're not going to do, like, it's Warner, and I think that's
why they don't care about that. Yeah, they don't care about the comic books.
Had was finishing was just releasing these movies that they've had produced and try and earn some money back from it. They know that they're not going to earn everything back, but they've under Walter Hamada and the chaos created by the Snyder fallout, and then the brand damage done during the Snyder films, because those movies all lost money. They did. Like people bring up the box office numbers and go, see, it made its money back. You have to divide that number in half because the theaters take their cut. So all of those movies lost money or barely broke even, except I think Wonder Woman, and then Aquaman I don't even count as a Snyder film, because James Wan nearly walked from the project because he'd have to play in the Snyderverse. He was a Hamada hire. So like everything from that from like the brand damage caused by the Snyderverse and the lack of cohesion under Hamada's tenure have put people in a disinterested point in DC. I do think Gunn's a person that can bring that back, and I do think that Superman Legacy is going to determine the success of DC. If Superman Legacy bombs, Gunn's universe is going to fail. It is the most important film, an important project on that slate. If it fails, he's done. Like, there's not going to be moving forward.
All right, let's see.
Anyways,
the only movie James Gunn ever did that was good was the Guardian of the Galaxy.
That's not even remotely true, but I'm not going to go into that. There are a lot of films that he's done that is solid. Solid.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but you like Brightburn.
I didn't like Brightburn. It is a parody. I was entertained by Brightburn, but I know it's not a good movie. It's a movie that you can watch with your friends while drinking beers, is what it is.
All right, let's see. Have you all got it out of your system now? You good?
We're good. Anyways, I've got to pop off at this point. We've been here for 2 hours.
Are you not entertained?
No, I'm not.
We're talking about Rome here and shit.
Can we let it go now? Can we let the Snyder stuff go?
It's over.
I let it go.
The Flash killed it.
You guys always bring it back.
The Flash left it in George Clooney Batverse.
And the Flash is fucking bad.
Good.
It is not the greatest. There are some good parts.
The only good part is to see Michael Keaton in there, and that's it. That's it.
I mean, considering that he's in a good chunk of the film, there's like some solid Michael Keaton content in there. And I think Sasha Calle did a very good job as Supergirl. I was surprised by that. I had very low expectations for her. But Ezra did up, and it made it like a lot of the jokes in there hit differently because of all the stuff Ezra has done, and it made me very uncomfortable.
I don't know. The entire movie makes me uncomfortable, except for the Michael Keaton part. Even there, it's kind of weird. He just gave up on everything. It's weird what they do with them. Right? It's like it's weird what they do with the when they bring back old heroes or something. It's like they always gave up on everything. They're old and gave up on everything.
So that part didn't annoy me as much as like the baby sequence.
Yeah, the baby sequence. Don't even touch it.
The baby sequence was the most horrifying part of that movie in every aspect.
The most stupid part of that one. It's not like just the entire thing is stupid, but the most stupid thing is at the end when they're down, the microwave goes ding.
Yes,
like it's still
it is
in. Like it's still fucking plugged in.
It is objectively horrifying, and I like it, especially given some of the allegations that Ezra has been
in the microwave.
Yeah, child endangerment is one of the things on the list, and so it's just like this joke might have hit differently at a different time with a different actor, but because it is Ezra, it makes it that much more uncomfortable, and I'm like, ugh. It was not great.
Flashpoint. No thanks. All right, let's see. Mo's here.
We do have Mo. I do hate to cut out that I do need to roll. There are things I need to get done here today.
I need to get off here so I can go to bed.
Poor Chris has just been like listening to Sim and I go back and forth for the past hour.
So don't forget to sub, like, and share.
Right.
We keep making this show interesting.
Oh, you made it something all right. Let's see here. Yes. Yes. All right.
Peter Jackson should direct a Meta Baron movie. Yes, he should.
Shut up, feed. We don't need another hour.
Then just shut up and just say bye and close the goddamn stream.
Here comes Caroline.
Yeah, as I says, like you're the one that keeping this up and reading all the chats. You could easily just hit the close thing and say goodbye to everybody like we did 3 minutes ago.
That's what I'm working on. I was just saying hello to Caroline before we left. I'm not trying to be rude.
Don't forget to sub, like, and share.
Everybody for joining us in the chat. Thanks, Oden, for being our guest. And we'll see you all on the next one.